Welcome once again to our daily podcast. It's nice to know that you are there, and I'm very happy with the feedbacks that we are getting on how this daily podcast is enhancing the productivity of our listeners' farming operations. Now, the first thing we want to look at today is what are those things we need to focus on when we want to enhance our farming system. The first thing that must drive you when it comes to making the most of your resource is the knowledge of the resource. The knowledge of the resource. I'll take as an example of a resource that we are all used to, the land. The land is a very vital resource in every agribusiness operation. What knowledge of the land do you have? The land in itself is a major platform, is a major item that can determine the success or the failure of the crop. If you have more knowledge about the soil, the land, you are able to position yourself for the expectation that awaits you. And what is the objective of the land? The land is not just there to serve as a pivot to give support to the crop. It is there to enrich the crop. Is a major tool that enriches the soil. Like we are aware, plants depends on nutrients, and most of the nutrients they get from the soil. So the knowledge of the soil will determine how much nutrients is available in the soil. And different plants have different kinds of nutrients they need to enhance their growth. So the first thing you need to know is how much knowledge you have of the soil. That's why the first thing we encourage people to do is to carry out a soil test analysis. You need to find out what is the amount of nutrient that is available in this soil. Is the nutrient the same throughout the soil? What understanding of the soil profile do you have? What is the depth of the soil that is rich in nutrients that can it support the crop you are hoping to plant? These are the examples. The same way we are still talking about the knowledge of your resource. What is the knowledge of the seed that you want to plant? What kind of temperature is needed for this seed to survive at the spec? What amount of water is this seed? Does this seed need to grow effectively? What amount of sunshine is needed for the seed to generate enough food that can keep the system coming up? So there is need for you to ask yourself those questions. Then the next thing you need to do after having a knowledge of your resources is to apply the key performance indices. The key performance indices. What are those things that are expected? There is a baseline for every resources. Every resource has a baseline. There is an expectation. So you need to find out what are the expectations from every resource. Let's start once again with the human capital. What are the expectations from the human capital? Every farm that has a farmhand expects the farmhand to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you begin to compare the results you are getting from your farmhand with that which is expected, which is the standard from every farmhand of that class. The same way, what is the key performance index for the soil? What is this soil supposed to give to this plant? The amount of nutrients. So there is need for you to also carry out that. It also helps you to make the most of your resources. Another thing that I just want to also draw our attention to when we are making the most of our resources, this is very peculiar about the human capital itself, is understanding of the concept of the learning curve theory. Now, what is the concept of the learning curve theory according to human capital scientists? It says that a job will be done easier, faster, and more effective the second time. It says that the more you carry out a task, the easier it becomes, the more effective it becomes, and the more proficient the person carrying out the task becomes with time. So if you are employing a staff, you are sending me to a farm to carry out a particular assignment, you must understand that the concept of learning curve will certainly apply. It will be unfair for you to assess a staff without experience with the same standard with the person who has been doing it for a very long time. So the question you need to ask yourself is, for me to make the most of this particular human resource, I need to find out where is he on this learning curve, on the learning curve theory. Where is he occupying presently within the learning curve theory? So if you discover that the staff in question doesn't have so much experience, he has not acquired experience over time, he's still a greenhorn, you attach him to somebody who will give him good supervision, or else he will not be able to get the most out of him. So the same thing applies even onto the usage of machines. The machines using of, you equally need to find out the staff that is being asked to carry out such activity. What knowledge does he have? Has he acquired the required knowledge? Okay, if he has acquired the required knowledge, are they theoretical knowledge or they are knowledge that has been acquired feed? They all play. there are other factors that also determines how one can enhance your resources. There is need also for us to make use of science. Science have also been able to come out with solutions to a lot of problems. That's one of the reasons why you see us enhancing soil with manure and fertilizer. It's a result of breakthroughs that have come up to say we can replenish worn out resources at this time. It's the reason why we leave soil to go fallow, because we know we can replenish worn out. It's the reason why we plant some crops. We say, okay, this soil had lost a lot of nitrogen. There's need for us to replace the nitrogen in the soil. Hence, we plant soya beans. Hence, we plant groundnuts. We plant leguminous crops that can replace such worn out nutrients. So as we conclude, we want to end with this once again. Resources can be enhanced. Let's make every effort to make the most of our resources. Let's not work with the assumption that this is how you met your resource, so it will remain that way. We need to work towards enhancing our resources. We want to hear from you. We want to get feedbacks from you on your views concerning those discussions we're having. You can go to our social media handles at OnePlot. You can equally send us an email on justoneplot@gmail.com. We will appreciate and we look forward to hearing from you. And you can also visit our website www.justoneplot.com. Thank you and have a very productive day.